McCarthyism was used communism as a way of introducing all sorts of very draconian responses within the United States. They saw communists under the bed everywhere. They saw communists as an existential threat, and they used that as a way of clamping down on a lot of freedoms, such as freedom of speech, freedom of association, and so on. And I think terrorism nowadays is being used in very much the same way, that it's being used as an excuse, as an opportunity to close down, in particular, the freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And I think this is very dangerous because what it does is effectively undermines the space that journalists have been able to operate, but also undermines one of the most fundamental pillars of democracy, and that is a free press that's able to work as a watchdog and on behalf of the public. I think that journalism generally has to abide by the codes of ethics, which it's always done, that it has to be responsible in the way that it works. It can't simply dump information for its own sake. But if journalists do their jobs, if we hold to those ethics where we investigate things that are genuinely in the public interest, that the public has a right to know, that doesn't damage national security for its own sake, then I think that the system can and does work. The problem that we have is where you start to legislate or put in additional legislative constraints on the work that journalists do. And I think what we're seeing, if we go back to the earlier question, we're seeing governments using terrorism as an excuse to place extra limits that weren't there before, and in fact making the system more unstable than it was.